Pleasure Island in Cleethorpes, once a major family attraction in Lincolnshire, but since the decision was taken in 2016 to close its doors for the final time, the site has remained deserted. But in June 2017, organised by Airsoft International magazine, all of that changed when over 400 airsoft enthusiasts descended on the site to take part in what was probably the largest airsoft competition in the world. I went down there to catch up with the organisers and asked them what this was all about.
It's the 12th Airsoft International AI 500, and this one has attracted over 400 players from across the globe, including Belgium, Germany, France, and obviously the Netherlands, as well as the States. And it's a gathering of over 400 players where obviously we're basically playing airsoft, essentially simulating probably for most parts the action sort of sequences of your favourite films or television shows. So it's a sense of escapism, but obviously it's objective based, and obviously using either AEGs or GBRs to sort of decide the battle. Backstory to this event is that it's set in the not too distant future, and it's basically simulating this as a key strategic point for a civil war in the UK. The objectives of today have been predominantly based about sort of dominating the ground. I think we're sitting on just short of 200 acres of land with the old Cleethorpes fairground. It's provided a fantastic backdrop to the event, and what's been even more pleasing is the event staff who run the venue and the local community have been exceptionally encouraging and supportive of the event, including Humberside Constabulary, who've done everything they can endeavour to have a safe event. Airsoft has been defined under legislation exactly what it is, but site regulations for your standard airsoft weaponry are about 370 feet per second, or most sites adhere, or just under 350 feet per second for your standard platforms, and that registers as about 1.7 joule. It's mildly painful, but it allows the players to recognise that a hit or a score has been scored against them as the event unfolds.
Would you regard this as being a safe activity?
It is a safe activity, but through the UK's adoption, which I think has been since over the last 20 years, because this originally originated in the Far East, in Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong. Health and safety has been instrumental in allowing us to pursue airsoft by regulating the appropriate safety rated eyewear, and obviously players adopt other safety equipment, possibly the application of face masks, gloves and other protective wear such as knee pads or even protective headwear.
So you have quite stringent rules on site. Do you want to tell me a little bit about how you make it safe and the kind of discipline that you have in place for doing it?
There's minimum engagement ranges, and obviously there is a massive emphasis not only on integrity and honesty in scoring your hits, because unlike paintball there's no mark left on your uniform or the equipment that you're carrying. So it's very much driven towards the players adopting a sense of sensibility and obviously conduct themselves in a manner that's not to the point where it would be to the detriment of themselves or other players. Obviously certain equipment is essential for that, but it's very much regulated by the rules of each individual site, which are all then subsequently regulated by health and safety and third-party insurance.
So if you fire at someone and hit them, how do you know that you've hit them?
Right, obviously they should feel it. That may not be the case, but for the most part it's an honour-based pastime, and you are expecting the player to obviously adopt that hit with honesty and integrity. Gentlemanly or gentle lady would perhaps be the best way to describe it. To be fair, the hit is significant enough that you will feel it, but obviously it will cause no sort of long-lasting injury.
So what if people just get hit and carry on playing then? I mean, what's to stop them? I'm just trying to figure out how you police it,
well,
in a game.
Unlike paintball, where there is an actual visible mark, and obviously that can be used to decide whether the player was hit or not. Airsoft is heavily marshalled. They wear high-vis jackets, and obviously whilst they try and disappear into the background as best as possible, if a player is subsequently caught cheating, at the very minimum it would be an ejection from the event or the site, and then if that conduct is an ongoing behaviour, you'd see them banned from either multiple sites or all sites. All sites are predominantly linked together in some shape or form via forms of community. Social media has expedited that. Basically, players that cheat, they're often asked to leave and banned from the site.
So what you're saying is, and this is very much a game of honour then, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, not to sort of downgrade the sport or underplay what we do. It's basically a form of cowboys and Indians for adults or those that are over 16 to engage in a physical activity, to get outdoors and engage in a positive community-based adventure, if you will.
You're obviously a very fit guy, and you really fit into the image of a kind of like combat sort of person. People at home are going to be watching this and saying, well, you know, I'm going to have a heart attack if I start running around doing this. I'm not fit. I mean, presumably you need to be quite super fit to even think about doing this, don't you?
That is an excellent question and a fair assessment. However, most sites not only carry sort of sufficient first aid trained staff to accommodate for any minor injuries or have policies in place to treat for any ailments or injuries incurred during airsoft. But one of the great things for airsoft, it's a real leveller from the very youngest to the eldest. We've got people in attendance at the AI 500 from all over the globe, ranging right down from 18 going into their 60s. It's up to the individual to choose how much they wish to pursue the event and with the amount of vigour which they choose to do so. So it can be as sedate as a good walk in the park to as tearing through the woods at a breakneck pace.
So basically there are roles you can take within this game where you don't necessarily have to be running around and throwing grenades into buildings and forward rolling and like the SAS do. You could take it quite easy.
Exactly, you could take it quite easy, and there are certain sort of platforms which would facilitate a more sort of sedate or relaxed style of play. However, continued play has encouraged people's fitness to improve. Being out in the fresh air and being exposed to the elements has put them in a position where late into life they've sort of found renewed vigour, and it's something that they enjoy. The other thing is post-game, away from sites, it gives people an activity to focus on, whether that's the research and the reading material that comes with that, reading about the equipment or sort of preparing their kit for the following event. It's very, very inclusive, and it's of late attracted people from all walks of life and cultures. And yeah, it's definitely a positive endeavour.
It's raised a few eyebrows. Lots of people wearing combat clothing around Cleethorpes. For people who don't really understand fully what it is you're doing, I mean, what would you say to reassure anybody who said, you know, what's going on, you've got weapons, you know, isn't this dangerous? I mean, how would you reassure concerned members of the public?
I think, quite frankly, the sight of any weaponry in public obviously should naturally be reported to the local constabulary. However, most of these events occur inside controlled, closed venues which are not immediately open to the public view. Obviously, people attending sites, either wearing sort of either camouflage or military-style clothing, could cause the public unnecessary alarm. However, I think sites, sadly, in light of recent events in the UK alone, are adopting a policy encouraging their patrons to attend events and sites wearing civilian clothing, basically to prevent unnecessary disalarm to the general public. For the most part, though, you'll be surprised to find most airsofters, they come from all walks of life: milkmen, librarians, bankers, store clerks. It attracts a wide variety and cross-section of the community from all colours and creeds. And you often find that some of the people that participate in this, whilst they might be a little bit shy to come forward and say that they play, are airsofters.
We made it through, reached the end of the lake and building a safe base.
Well done, capture that position and hold it. Let me know if you need reinforcements. Alpha have achieved their objective. Keep pushing up. Contact! He's moving, move up, move up. Keep going, team. Push down the railway track. Go now, go now.
Right, thank you. Welcome. My name's Paul. I'm from Action Sport Games. We're Danish. We're a market leader in real imitation firearms. And today we've got the new Action Sport Games CZ Evo 3 Carbine BET. It's our latest real imitation firearms that we've brought to market here today at the AI 500.
What exactly do these things fire, Paul? Would you like to show me?
Well, first of all, I mean, these things are non-lethal. They fire a 6mm plastic BB, which we produce as well. The projectile is a spherical 6mm plastic BB. That's all.
So it's basically a plastic ball.
Basically, what you've got here is a toy gun that can fire plastic BBs. That's what you've got.
But this is more than just a toy pop gun, though, isn't it, Paul?
Not really. What it is, because technology has moved on, because we work in the real imitation firearms under license with real firearms companies where we can bring the real side of the firearms into the airsoft and make it more realistic. This is what we create. So we've been doing it for over 20 years.
So when these BBs, as you call them, are fired, what kind of speed and power do they come out the nozzle at?
Well, first of all, I mean, working with the UK, we've got very strict laws anyway. So the law is at the moment that full automatic weapon or a real imitation firearm can fire up to 1.3 joules, and for full auto is 2.3 joules. So it's very restricted in the way that we operate. Airsoft is very safe as well with all the protection equipment that we wear. But these things, it's nothing more than getting probably a paintball pellet that hits you and explodes. It's the same. It causes a little bit of a welt, but it's nothing major.
So this real imitation firearm that you've got, what's it made of? What are the components?
It's electric. So inside here is a computer system that helps process the BB that runs through the barrel and then out of the mock suppressor at the end. It holds a 75 round magazine. Within this, really, it's just a very high advanced, technically electric gun. As soon as you pull the trigger, it engages, pulls the BB and pushes it through the barrel, driven by a battery.
So this will fire more than one at a time, and it will fire like a machine gun?
Well, no, it can and it can't. I mean, as a semi-auto, it can run 3-round burst or full auto. Again, working with the new legislations, which is very strict in the UK, we adhere to those, and all the UK manufacturers and brands and retailers stay within the law.
What components is this made of? It looks very high tech. What's it comprise of? I'm talking about metal, plastic, that kind of thing. I mean, what's it?
Yeah, it's full dense polymer, nylon, as would be for the real firearms would be. Inside is a lot of electrical components that will help with the discharge of the spherical 6mm BB. So there's a lot going off in it. It's a lot more technical to go into, but inside here's a little bit of computer that once you engage the battery, pull the trigger, the BB will fire.
It looks very expensive.
No, not really. I mean, this one itself is around about £350 mark. And these AGs or these real imitation firearms can go up to in the region of £1,000 plus. I mean, really, what you got here is it doesn't matter how you hold it. It's first of all is that when everybody gets hold of a real imitation firearm, that these magazines are out. We're in safety protection, which is eyewear, and everything's chronoed as well, so I make sure that it's working within the feet per second that is regulated by the government and also the sites. Once all the safety aspects are taken, then we get onto the skirmish field, like today AI 500, and load the magazine up, pull the charging handle, and off we go and have lots of fun.
So these are battery operated?
This particular one is battery operated, so you can get gas blowback, electric, or CO2, or high pressure air as well. So it comes in very, very different formats.
What kind of batteries do these use?
They can use the NIM battery, or they can use a LiPo battery, which is specific for these guns.
Put suppression on tower! Suppression on tower! Guys, let's get some more bodies on this train track. Vickers! Let's get some more bodies on this train track.
Call them out.
Straight down, right hand side.
On your right.
Beyond barricade, down on the right hand side.
I see him, I see him.
Yep. Straight down, right hand side, train track. Yeah, sniper would be fine. I think there was about 3 snipers over there. Where's your tabs, mate?
In my pocket, mate. Just tab me in.
Yeah.
Smoke there for you.
What do you want to do? Do you want to plume this and go, or?
I'm thinking a belt buckle along the side, mate. If somebody else on they'll fire, I can get to that tin.
I'll put one down.
See if you can get it right in the middle. That's it, beautiful. Right, we're belt buckling it. Yeah.
Follow me up along the hedge line.
Keep it low.
Come along the hedge line.
Keep it low, don't even shoot.
Go.
Down, down. Get in!
It's like paintball, because everyone knows what paintballing is. It's like that, but a lot more immersive. It's more about the kit looking right, and the weapons you use are realistic. They sort of, in a lot of time you can use realistic ammo caps, and it's not stupid hoppers on top of the guns. In airsoft, when you get hit, you'll feel the BB. Depending on the range, normally it comes in with a bit of a sting, a bit of a slap. And you raise your hand, you call your hit, and depending on the rules is whether you get medicked in or get straight off the respawn.
Can I at least get out this one, please?
Yeah, do you want
Get your hand out, mate, you're right.
Cheers,
well
lads.
played, fella.
Right, there man, been out.
Yeah, that's us dead.
Which goes you get?
Right, let's go out this way.
Yeah, you sure? We're dead.
So in paintballing you get a visual marker on yourself, obviously, but airsofting, it's all about trust. Basically, it's having the trust for, like, you have the trust that you're going to shoot that opposition and he's going to call himself out, and that's how you identify you've taken that. There's sort of, within airsoft, there's definitely a role open for everyone. I don't think you have to say you need to be super fit. Like my dad, who's well in his 60s, he's a player, he comes out, he's got 2 shot knees, but it doesn't stop him.
Tell me about today's game and what's the kind of scenario of play?
Today's game was hard work, that's one thing. The rain didn't help this morning. We had rain right the way up to sort of lunchtime. It was a ground control mission, sort of set up across the site. There were 3 flags, 2 teams sort of spawned in, and it was basically grab the area and lock it down and raise your team's colour flag. And that was basically the concept of what was going on today.
That's our front line. That is now our front line.
You got the line 7 here.
Okay.
You know the massive train track. You know where that tower is that they got the flag on.
Yeah.
We need more bodies on that train line because we just need frags and smokes and we can push it. Because we're quite far.
Yeah. Past where he's on about, we've pushed about another 5-10 metres. There's one sniper holding us up.
We can next to the railway line where the bush is. You can get in the bush and you can fire across.
Right, guys, everybody ready? Can you all go right with these guys?
Come on, boys.
What is it for you?
For
Why
me,
do you do it? You wouldn't
it's-
do it if you didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, I suppose it's the camaraderie, the brothership. I run a team sort of based down in Sussex that's based off of the back of a shop. So, we get together, we sort of do training days and stuff, and it's just getting together the weekends with your mates. It's also kind of just being like a big kid to an element. That's what it comes down to. You're having fun. It's like when your kids running around the woods with sticks playing toy soldiers, but you're playing a lot more of kind of a serious-based game.
Through the village, how copy, over?
Yeah, copy that, sirs. We've also got the yellow flag up on the corner of the lake also.
Bravo, Delta, give it everything you've got. You can do this, Keep moving up. Centurions, our flag is coming under heavy fire. How copy?
Yeah, Viper actual, we're getting absolutely smashed in. We've got about 10 guys here. We're taking angles from about 4 different positions over.
Roger that. Echo, Charlie, keep pushing up by the ground. Charlie, you need to get your guys to move up. Guys, you need to move up. You need to go now. Keep moving up. We're dominating the site. Move forward. Go, go, go!
Now that this event is over and all of the airsoft enthusiasts have left, the question still remains about the future of this site. This is Stephen West at Pleasure Island, Cleethorpes.